whatever falls from your lordship. My lord, there are two sets of petitioners before my lord, according to my understanding. One set of petitioners who were holding chair, in respect of whom sanction was required and is still required. Apart from them, two have got, that is the MIC and the other person, Jivan Krishna Shah. And as far as the others are concerned, other petitioners, the sanction is not there. So my first set of arguments will be with regard to those bail applications. Because I have one more limb to add to theirs, because many sections or many cases are specifically allegations have been leveled against them in the charge sheet. Now, my lord, others are the agents who are before my lords. With regard to them, I will make my second branch of submission. Because agents, my lord, I have to say, because they are the collectors of money. That means private. This is how I propose, my lord, subject to whatever falls from my lord, because that will be better, because I will, and my lord, going what I am... My lord, what I am humbly submitting before my lord. My lord, there are, my learned senior friends have... Lord, we honestly hope that you will answer the question. Without taking cognizance, how can a judge of the special court demand an accused to custody? My lord, I am not here to answer any questions. I am just here to place before my lords what is charge sheet all about and what has happened. No, my lord. If I don't answer adverse inference, did we ask some questions? My lord, of course. I am a creature of instructions from my client and directions from my lords, and I am bound to do that. But my lord, as far as the questions which are there, my lord, what I feel are pertinent, I will try to put it before my lords. Now, my lord, as far as RC required, though the accused in whose case sanction is required, my lord, I am starting with that first. My lord, I will just narrate Mr. Partho Chatterjee. My lord, no, sanction has been granted. Yes, my lord, sanction is required, but two of them have been granted sanction. Mr. Partho Chatterjee and Jivan Krishna Shah. Sri Jivan Krishna Shah, and he is not the petitioner before my lord. He is on bail. Granted. Now, my lord, before my lords, Kullanmay Ganguly is there. Shubiresh, Ashok Kumar Shah, Shanti Prasad Sinha, and Shri Partho Chatterjee. And lastly, Shri Partho Chatterjee. Kullanmay Ganguly, Shubiresh, Ashok Kumar Shah, Shanti Prasad Sinha, and Shri Partho Chatterjee. Sanction granted, you say? No, my lord. These are the people with regard to whose bail applications I am going to address, my lords, because they are a part of the conspiracy which has been stated in the charge sheet. And who were actually responsible, others, are the people who had gathered money on the pretext of giving jobs, and that particular amount of money reached people, and on the basis of that particular gratification, they did things which I am going to submit before my lord very humbly. This is my first branch of submission. Now, my lord, basically, my lord, my branches of submission are first the story as to how everything came into existence and what happened. Second branch will be that whether the persons who have been granted bail are on the same footing or not. Who is the defective complaint of this case? Initially, CBI. I do not regard to hear my lord, initially a writ petition, it all happened, my lord. It all happened, my lord, in 2022, if I am not mistaken. 2022, my lord, a writ petition was filed. How it happened, my lord, I am going to spin a yarn first, my lord, and that in short only, because if I go through the charge sheet, my lord, it will take very long. My lord, how I have tried to gather the information from my officer, and I have made it into a story-like thing, but they are all fact, not fiction. Now, my lord, what happened was, in 2022, it all starts from here. Gotcha. In 2022, a writ petition was moved before this honorable court on a particular understanding of the petitioner that some people, a particular panel which came into existence, recruitment which started in 2016,
and the panel of which particular recruitment was expired in 2019, some persons who were in the wait list or some people who were not even in those in the panel there were getting jobs in 2021 and in 2022. And so those people came before my lords and said that these people are getting jobs. How and from where, we are unable to understand. Now that particular writ petition opened the Pandora's box. An investigation was ordered. So now, my lord, 2022, when the investigation started by us, by CBI, initially we started making investigation with regard to the appointments which were being given post 2019. Because admittedly, the recruitment process which was started in 2016 came to an end in 2019 for all practical purposes. Yes, 2019. So now, my lord, first initially we started investigation as to how and under which provision and which recruitment rule these people were getting appointments. Because some people were there whose name appeared somewhere in the waiting list, some were there in list, some of the names were there that their names were not appearing. So there, my lord, we started investigation. When we started investigation, we came to know that this particular advertisement was given in 2016. Subsequently, thereto, my lord, the recruitment process was started in 2017, and my lord, counselling and all other things took place in 2018. Now, my lord, 2018, a very peculiar thing, just taking my lords away from the main track, but this is a very important side track. 18. Just taking away my lords from the main track, but this is a very important side track. 2018, a particular rule was passed. West Bengal Secondary Education Rules 2018 was amended. Now, what was this amended, my lord? I am trying to impress upon my lord. Initially, recommendations were given by, my lord, the commission to the president of the board, and then after that, letter of recruitment was issued by, my lord, the school management committee prior to 2018 amendment. Each and every school management committee used to issue letter of appointment after recommendation and after it was passed by the director or by the president of the board. 2018, my lord, this rule was amended. For amendment of a particular rule, it cannot be done if there is no premeditated understanding of the subject and how it is to be done. That is where the kingpin's role comes. Now, my lord, this rule was amended, and by amendment of this particular rule, the president of the board was given the authority to issue recruitment letters. It was taken away from these school boards. And for that purpose, of course, for a purpose of scrutiny, a appointment cell was there in place.
President of what?
President of the board. Who was Mr. Kalyanmay Ganguly. West Bengal Board of Secondary Education. My lord, what the people who are holding posts are the president of the board, my lord, the advisor to the commission, the secretary to the commission, the MIC, and my lord, then the flashback I will take, my lord. There comes the road of Mr. Subhiresh Bhattacharya, the chairman of SCC at that point of time in 2016. This is post 2018 when this is per se illegal, and that was also illegal by manipulation of data. There are two things. One is there is no data on my own accord.
If the president was given authority to issue, why is he doing it?
My lord, I'm coming. I'm spinning a yarn. My lord, will kindly bear me for 30 seconds because until unless I don't disclose the entire, while I'm narrating the entire incident, my lord will get one answer after the other. And if there are some more questions, my lord, I will surely answer to the best of my ability. Now, my lord, what happened was, so my lord, in my respectful submission, what happened was that in 2019, this 18, this particular rule was amended. Now, this gives power to the president of the board to issue letters of appointment without sending it to the different, my lord, the school committees, which were initially, my lord, will kindly bear me, the school management committees. So, the school management committees, which were initially responsible, were obtained in numbers. So, they could come to know that how this appointment letter and why this appointment letter is to be given without any purpose, without any process. So, in order to make it more confidential, more secretive, and make it within a few chosen ones, this particular rule was passed. Now, after 2018, this rule was passed, and then after that, the entire thing began. Now, my lord, when the panel expired, certain recommendations, the people who joined was Sri Soumitra Sarkar. He became the chairman of the commission. Sri Shanti Prasad Sinha was the advisor.
Who was the chairman?
Sri Soumitra Sarkar.
Soumitra Sarkar is not here.
No, he is not here. I'm just, because my lord, he was there. My lord, it has been rested. My lord, it was that his signatures were forged. He didn't. Chairman of the Service Committee. Then Shanti Prasad Sinha was there. And the secretary was, who was the advisor, and the secretary was Sri Ashok Shah. Now, my lord, Sri Shanti Prasad Sinha and Sri Ashok Shah, they initially started requesting, the regional commissions. There are the 5 regional commissions of schools. They started asking them that about the vacancies which are there. This is post 2019 when that panel came to an end and that process has been completed. They started asking them that please tell. Yes, letters. They started asking them that what are the vacancies which are there in the schools. Because they were holding posts, they started giving them this information. Now, when they came to know about how many posts are vacant, they started issuing, Shanti Prasad Sinha and Ashok Kumar Shah, they started issuing recommendation letters for these posts for their chosen candidates. Now, these recommendation letters were sent to say Kalyanmay Ganguly, who happens to be the president of board at that point of time. Now, Lord, since 2018 that amendment was made. After this recommendation, the board president prior to 2018 was supposed to send it to the school management committee. But since this rule was amended, now he was all in all. Now what he did, he also had a committee under him, which was selection committee, which was headed by a deputy secretary level. Because in order to see that whatever recommendation is coming from the SCC, right, wrong, or whatever other paraphernalias are to be seen. Now, this gentleman, who was at that point of time the president of the board, without even informing the committee, which is to scrutinize regarding all other paraphernalias, he got into hand in glove with one of the persons there, who is Sri Rajesh Layak, is one of the witnesses. And he said that you issue appointment letters with regard to these candidates. Recommendation has come. I have seen everything. You issue appointment letters. Now, when he then issued appointment letters, and these appointment letters were given with the help of Rajesh Layak. He is one of the witnesses. Now these letters, so the entire circle was complete. Now, without any examination, without anything, these people were given illegal appointments. Just first they gathered the information from respective schools because they had zeroed in the entire process. In between,
did not appear in the. Is there any...
Some appeared, some did not appear. How the whole process happened. I will go into the nitty-gritties later, but how the entire conspiracy and what is the accusation leveled against these people, I am trying to narrate that particular story because going through the entire chart sheet, I have summed up it in a nutshell just for my lord's understanding that what actually happened. So there was no process and these recommendation letters were printed in the office at their own BS without any process being followed, and then these were handed over to the candidates. Now those candidates went and joined the respective schools. Now the school committees knew nothing. Now when these appointees started working, then though it was done in a very hush-hush manner, but then also the people who appeared in 2016, 17, 18 and were not given appointment, those were the people who could smell a rat. So they then started, the whole pressure started that about OMR sheets, about how much marks they gathered, how was the scrutiny made, how they were called for interview or recommendation letters were given on their behalf and not us. That was the tip of the iceberg. Now those people came before this honorable court, some of them. When this honorable, then after that, where I started once again, then this honorable court directed CBI inquiry, and then we inquired. So we got into hold of this. Now, my lord, now I come to the second aspect, which is a flashback. We started in 2022. So we had no business to go about and think of, because we took it sacrosanct, because the people who were there doing this, such type of a scam will happen. And the testimony to that particular scam is this honorable court's coordinate bench judgment, which runs into hundreds of pages, where the entire thing has been narrated how it happened. I have just narrated this story in a nutshell without going into various details. Now, my lord, at that point of time, we took it as sacrosanct that when a recruitment is started and the process is followed, which is legal, something so unthinkable and abrupt may happen. There should be some semblance. Now, my lord, there will be some process will be followed. People taking out on their own accord, getting names, printing appointment letters and giving it to people and letting them join this. How this can happen, we could never understand. So, my lord, when we started this, so then we said that the people who were not called for interview, what were their OMR sheets? These people who have been appointed, they must have got some answer because there should be some basis to it. So therefore, then our race started or our investigation started with regard to the OMR sheets, the route. Because a person appears in the examination, he appears and the marks are there, and then after that, those marks are given and accordingly the entire thing, appointment process starts. Now, my lord, when we started investigating with regard to those OMR sheets, Pandora's box was opened. Then the flashback. That the entire problem started way back in 2016. The first recruitment, which had a legal sanction, where advertisement was given, examination were held, and after that marks were there, and according to the merit list, people were called, counseling was done, and certain appointments were given. This was the process. When we started investigating that particular process, we found that the problem started from the very outset. Manipulation started from 2016, and then even after that particular manipulation and that particular scam was over, that segment, this offshoot continued. And here, that had a semblance of legality. Therefore, my lord will kindly allow me my lord, there was some semblance of legality. Illegality was taking place within the four corners of legality. So therefore, my lord, the cat was not out of the bag. But my lord, subsequently after 2019, when they started giving appointment in this abrupt manner, the story which I narrated, that is when the public at large and some people came to know, because they did it in a very, very confidential and secured manner. So what happens is that, Millard, what happens is that when nothing succeeds like success, but nothing fails like excess. The story which I narrated before my lord was excess, where without any semblance, without any understanding, what they did was they started giving appointments to people without following any rules and regulations.
2016 process was also manipulation.
Yes. Now I am coming to the 2016 manipulation. Now, there what happened was in 2016. I'm sorry, Millard. I was a student of literature, Millard. So, Millard, and I knew nothing about science and commerce, Millard. So, Millard, therefore, Millard, sometimes, Millard.
And Bengali as a language?
Millard, no, I have learned it. I have learned it, Millard. I have learned it through Chorcha with good people who I can sing Rabindra Sangit. I have Chorcha of Bengali songs, Millard, and also cinema. No, Millard, it is just, Millard, it is just my Millard passion, Millard. Now, Millard. Now, Millard, one more thing. That 2018, Millard, that 2018 amendment in the rules, as far our investigation goes, no process was followed for that particular amendment of rules. It was just at the behest of Sri Partho Chatterjee by giving a note that from now onwards, this is the process which will be followed. And that we have stated in our charge. And that is how, in order to seclude the entire process from going out of hand and people coming to know this particular thing was done in 2018 with a particular intention to give the appointments later on, which actually opened the Pandora's box. Now, Millard. So, Millard, when we came to the next segment as to what the first set of... So, Millard, what happened there, Millard? What happened there was, when the examinations were held, everything was right till the examinations were held. The problem started with the OMR sheets. The OMR sheets. Nice, assi. कोई कागज होता है स्वीट होता है भूल जाते हैं Millard, will kindly bear me. Now, Millard, after the OMR sheets, after the examination was held, then, Millard, the question came that someone has to scan the OMR sheets and perform the job of deciphering as to what were the marks which had been given to the respective candidates and who have fared and how they have fared. So, Millard, a particular agency called NISA was appointed. For the purpose of, initially it was appointed for designing, printing and supply of OMR sheets. That was prior to examination. And subsequently, after examinations were held, they were given the responsibility of scanning and evaluation of OMR answer sheets. So, to them. Now, Millard, as far as NISA is concerned, Millard, the Vice President of NISA is Niladri, who has been granted bail, which has been also that they on the same footing they are taking. I will come to that story later. So, Niladri Das was the Vice President of NISA. This particular job was given to NISA in a closed circuit tender, which was basically circulated among 9 of the companies which were basically closed circuit, and they were given this job. It was not floated in a manner that many people in West Bengal can come to know and can participate with. Now, Millard, NISA was initially given the job of designing and printing the OMR sheet. They printed the OMR sheet, they gave it to us. After that, they were given the scanning and evaluation process that they have to scan the entire OMR sheets so that a ready referencer of the OMR sheets can be retained, and so that if there is any question with regard to which candidate got how many marks, we can see to that. And the original OMR sheets were basically dumped in an old abandoned building.
Digital records must be kept.
My lord, scanning, that is there. My lord Justice Mantha ordered the CBI. They have said that it has been destroyed.
Digital records.
Yes, it has been
Scanning.
Yes, it has been destroyed. That is what Justice Mantha, it fell from Justice Mantha, that he said that the digital records cannot be destroyed. There should be some footprints. So, my lord, there was an order for the CBI to investigate and get help of experts who are in there, so that because all the writ petitions are, the entire wheel is turning on that particular hinge, that how much marks the people got. Because the people who will lose their jobs, they are also championing for the cause that we had appeared for the examination and this is the right marks. When people are claiming to be people who have been illegally recruited, they also have a case.
The entire process has been manipulated.
My lord, the entire process, how it has been manipulated, that is the talk of the town. My lords also know, I also know, but how it has been manipulated, that is what I am trying to narrate.
The investigation is complete.
No, my lord. After my lords, the Honorable Coordinate Bench of my lords, Honorable Court had directed us to further investigate on the other nuances by the judgment of my lord of the bench, presided over by my lord Justice Bashar.
Yes, sir.
My lord, one portion has been stayed, one portion has been numeric things have been stayed, the other portion has not been stayed.
So you can provide supplementary.
Yes, my lord. So therefore, that particular question that the investigation is not continuing, it is not the fact.
Investigation is almost complete. Or
my lord, we had completed.